All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rarachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Just to quote Habakkuk, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So I'm pretty sure you're starting to see the gradual change and feel the transition into this digital system. All right. And you're starting to see more AI replacement, in the retail sector. More human activity is being pushed out, so you don't have as much human interaction, because now everything is self-automated, everything is digital, everything requires some type of biometrical technology, whether it be facial recognition, your palm print, so on and so forth. Everything is growing cashless. All right. And that's the point, because this is the part of the MOTB system that has to be rolled out. All right. They're setting the stage for it, and we're witnessing it in real time. So this is an article that popped up this morning. It says 8 places that no longer accept cash in 2025. And the more we transition, you're going to see cash being obsolete. They're phasing cash out, and eventually, especially with this bill, it's going to accelerate the crash of the dollar, because it's losing its value, and America is so into debt. All right, putting more and more trillions of dollars into this system that they're crafting. All right, which is basically towards the very system that they're rolling out, this technocratic AI controlled system. All right. So reading it, it says, not long ago, cash was considered the universal form of payment. There was a point in time also when it had value, right? It had purchasing power, but it since then has diminished over the course of time. It says, fast forward to 2025, and a growing number of businesses and venues across the U.S. have completely phased it out. Whether driven by speed, security, it says whether driven by speed, security, or sheer convenience, many retailers now require credit, debit, or digital wallet payments. And we know everything is going digital, so eventually they're going to phase out, the credit card and the debit card. They pushing crypto real heavy. Trump, he's big on crypto all of a sudden, right? It says, while some applaud the cashless trend for cutting down on theft and streamlining transactions, others argue it excludes those without access to banking. If you still like paying with bills and coins, you might want to avoid these 8 places that no longer accept cash. So you see the shift is happening. Sports stadiums and arenas. So if you go into a sporting event, you gonna have to use your app, all right, or some type of digital payment. You can't pull out cash. Okay, it's all cashless now. Try to pay for food, try to buy you a beer or whatever, you can't use cash. And eventually we know where it's going to go. All right. Airlines and in-flight services. So the airport, they already set it up to where, no cash. There's actual stores that are actually in the airports that are straight cashless. All right. It says airlines no longer accept cash for drinks, snacks, or seat upgrades. The move is largely logistical, aiming to speed up service and improve inventory tracking. while airport shops may still accept cash. Once you're in the air, it's card or nothing. All right, frequent flyers have had to adjust quickly to this no cash attitude shift. Fast casual and chain restaurants. Many national fast casual chains have gone cashless, especially in urban centers. Shake Shack, Sweet Green, and some Starbucks locations are now card only or app based. All right. Also, you got certain Whole Food stores that are cashless now, and also Panera Bread. It's another restaurant that no longer accepts cash. It says staff cite faster checkouts and fewer errors, but customers who prefer to rely on cash are often turned away. These businesses claim digital payments help reduce theft and streamline operations. Expect even more restaurants to follow suit, especially with the rise of self-service kiosk, which ultimately, eventually, is going to be used as a device for your hand to scan, or your head. All right. It says rideshare and food delivery services. Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and other app-based services have always leaned cashless, but now it's mandatory in most areas. In 2025, tipping with physical money or offering cash for fare adjustments will no longer be accepted on most platforms. So they really trying to get rid of it. They phasing it out. And this is all happening gradually. Drivers and carriers are instructed to reject any physical currency for liability reasons. The platforms say this ensures transparency and driver safety. Bullshit. Why? Come on, man. Why? Because you think that some new variant is gonna be on that cash? That is just part of the propaganda to demonize, physical money. Money being put in your hand. What if I don't want you to know what I'm getting at as far as my tips? They pass you $100 bill under the table, for your service. Oh, that's not safe. That might be a liability. Get out of here, man. We all know what this is, gearing towards. It says if you are using rideshare or delivery, make sure your payment method is updated in the app. Then you got the music festivals and large public events, same as these sports events, because they hold these concerts and music venues in these arenas and these stadiums. All right, and it's the same thing. I said verse. Like I'm about to read a scripture. College campuses and student services. So there it is. People that are in college, I'm pretty sure they can give their experience. Universities across the U.S. have joined the cashless movement, especially when it comes to bookstores, dining halls, and campus events. Many now require students to use campus cards, mobile wallets, or online portals for all payments. ATMs are becoming increasingly rare on college grounds. This shift aims to align with tech-savvy students while reducing theft and administrative headaches. Parents sending students off to school should expect a fully digital spending experience. Toll roads and parking garages. Yep. You usually, when you go into the parking garage, you got to press the button and the ticket comes out, and you're allowed to go in and find parking. But on your way out, you got to stop at the kiosk machine, slide your ticket in there, and then the only form of payment that they're taking is digital. If you ain't paying digitally, you're not getting out of there. You're not going to be able to drive off that lot or out of that parking garage. That's the way it's set up now. So this entire system is shifting, and everybody's being cornered into it. So you false prophets out there that still, playing games like you don't know what the hell is going on, you're going to have a lot of questions to answer to. You have a lot to answer to, man. If you ain't already, You know, if your people in your congregation isn't already answering you, the scriptures say, a wise man studieth to answer. You should know. All right. But if you sold out, you got to act like you don't know. All right. Like that was that verse in Exodus, in 23rd chapter, around the 8th verse. You know, a wise man taketh a gift, and it blinds the eyes, that they cannot, you know, speak the truth. It's really, you know, they blinded by the bag and the status that they have to basically ignore what they're actually seeing. We know Nate and them, they see it. That's why they even starting to mention about digital currency when they try to break down the MOTB. But for a long time, they've been playing ignorant. All right. Some retail stores and boutiques. All right. And it says cash is no longer king. Now what? As digital payments take over, cash is being left behind, sometimes without warning. While this shift offers speed and security for businesses, it also raises concerns about accessibility for unbanked and underbanked populations. Whether you're a fan of tap and go or still carrying crisp $20 bills, it's important to know which places are cash free before you get stuck in line. In 2025, your wallet might be less about paper and more about pixels. And this is all about them using digital surveillance over every human being for control reasons. All right, it's all about power and control. And that's what this whole beast system is all about. You bowing down to their authority, you bowing down to their image. A new way of living where everything that you do is being monitored and tracked. All right. And they will basically use it to cut you out of society if you don't agree to it, accept it, if you don't show your allegiance to it. So I went to ChatGPT and I typed in, does a cashless society pave the way for the mark of the beast buying and selling system? The idea that a cashless society might pave the way for the mark of the beast system mentioned in the book of Revelation, specifically Revelation 13:16-17, is a perspective commonly discussed among certain Christian groups, particularly within evangelical and prophetic circles, because we're dealing with prophecy. And Great Millstone, we known for mainly prophesying. You got to be, even the scriptures say, to be occupied in prophecy. All right. Let's break it down from theological, technological, and practical viewpoints. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but ChatGPT be cooking sometime. Biblical context, the mark of the beast, Revelation 13:16-17 in the ESV. Also, it causes of all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand, really in the right hand or the forehead, so that no man can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This passage describes a time in which people are required to receive a mark in order to participate in economic activity. It has nothing to do with you committing a particular sin, like the IUIC tries to break it down. All right. Now, this is a control mechanism through transactions, financial transactions, or commerce or economic activity, as it is as it's put here. The mark is linked to allegiance to the beast, a symbolic or literal figure associated with opposition to the Most High. That being basically this beast system, which consists of Esau's kingdom, his power structure, his philosophy, all right, his military might, his technology. It all coincides together to formulate this beast. NATO, the European Union, and in America, all right? It says cashless society, modern trend. A cashless society uses digital methods, cards, phones, biometrics, crypto for all transactions, eliminating physical cash. Common motivations include convenience, reduced crime, efficiency, pandemic concerns, touchless payment. And that was one of the things that was mentioned in that article about how they don't want to use cash because it can be a liability, it can be unsafe. right? It says, example, Sweden is nearly cashless. China uses digital payment platforms like WeChat Pay and Alipay. Connection to revelation and interpretive viewpoints. Literal futurist interpretation common among evangelicals. A global cashless system is seen as a potential precursor to the beast's control over buying and selling. Digital ID implanted CHIPs or biometric systems are viewed as possible technological tools for enforcing this system. Cashless systems could theoretically be centrally controlled, allowing governments or a world leader to restrict transactions for non-compliant individuals. They did it with the jab. All right. So the next solution is going to be that CHIP. It'll eliminate all these different crises that they're using, whether it's your legal status, all right, this so-called immigration status or crisis, identity, so that they can track people, so it'll be easier to track a crime, or potential criminals, and very other things. It says, concern if digital systems are abused, they could use this. It's like they could be used to coerce behavior or restrict freedoms, aligning with the scenario in Revelation 13. All right. Symbolic preterist interpretation, which they definitely go off. Some theologians believe Revelation is symbolic and refers to first century Rome, not future events, which is not true, because when we read Revelation, and you read the story of John, he was banished on the Isle of Patmos, and it happened during the reign of Domitian, which was the last of the 12 feathers, or the last 12 Roman emperors before Jake started to rule. And Domitian was, according to scholars and the historians, he was his reign was from 81 AD to 96 AD. So any time in between that time was when John was actually banished on the Isle of Patmos. So that means that he received those visions well after 70 AD. All right. So it says the mark represents loyalty or allegiance, not necessarily a physical or digital mark. The cashless society is not inherently evil. It's a neutral technology. And that shows you that, the Lord ain't dealing with preterism. That's another doctrine of the devil. And for them to even, push that ideology that this system isn't even inherently evil, which obviously it is, shows you that that's another doctrine of the devil. It's not inspired by the Heavenly Father, man. All right. The prudent foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. And it also, the quote Paul, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. It's clearly a device of the devil, because it's coming from the same beast system. All right. And it says practical secular view. A cashless society is about efficiency and modernization, not spiritual control. Bullshit. Because if you controlling people's access to anything through a system, you control that person. And they will basically deviate from their religious devotion, to a certain belief system or faith, to attain, this accessibility. We all saw it with what they did with these draconian measures when the COVID thing happened. People were putting this before their own religious faith. A lot of these Christians were giving in. Certain Hebrew Israelites were giving in. So come on, man. It's literally about control. So they're pushing the same agenda. People that believe through this view, They basically believe on this man in his system. Talk about strong delusion, believing in a lie. All right. And so you're going to have Christians that are deceived. You're going to have many people that's going to be deceived, man, thinking that this is convenient, that it's you know, something for your good, for your benefit. It talks about how by these miracles were the people deceived. The people that believe in the system, that believe on the beast and the miracles, they're going to be deceived by it. Let me grab that. It's Revelation 19 and 20, and this is the aftermath after the Lord judges the beast and the whore and the false prophet. Revelation 19 and 20 says, and the beast was taken, and with them the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, because the false prophet is supposed to endorse and back the beast, with which he deceived them that had received the mark, the charagma of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So these people, they're going to be deceived because of the miracles, which caused them to receive the mark, because they're going to wander after the beast, seeing all the abilities that it actually has, because now we're intertwining biology with technology. So people are going to see it as something beneficial, you know, even miraculous for certain people. All right. But I mean, it does say secular view. So if you're of the world, you have a secular view, then hey, you're gonna be had by this beast, because this is his world. Esau is the end of the world. That's how you know who controls the beast. All right, the Edomites, his empire, which is the last empire that will be ruling. When you read Daniel, it lists the four beasts. Esau would be the last one standing before the Lord returns. He fell as the Roman Empire. That was the first leg, and now we at the end where it resurfaced, and now it has all this authority and control in the world, and the Lord's in the midst. He's getting ready to judge it. The only thing that we're waiting on is for him to establish his mark and make it mandatory for everybody to receive, and then he's gonna see who's in allegiance. And if you're not in allegiance, you're going to be marked as an enemy. You're going to be isolated. You're going to be basically excommunicated from this system. And then some of us, they're going to even lock up to interrogate, to either try to break us or to put us to death. That's why we also read in Revelation 20 about those that will be beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and you know, there was a crown of victory given to them because they didn't bow to the image. They didn't worship the image, neither they received the mark. So this all coincides, it all ties in. All right. So I'm not going to read any further, but you know, that's pretty much where we're heading, man. And you already know the prophecy in Revelation 13:16 on down. I don't even need to read it. All right. But you know, I felt the need to go into this, you know, after I came across this article. All right. So hey, we getting closer, man. So hey, with that, I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And to the next one, Shalom.